going to give it to 7:35.
I thought you said start. It's okay. It's recording. Whenever you're ready to start, you can.
For coming to tonight's meeting. I see we have here from Sanitation with limited time, so I'd like to give her the floor.
Hi, good evening. I mean, I don't have anything specific to present or anything like that. I was following up on, the request to come. So, if you guys have stuff that you'd like to talk about, then we can do that.
Okay, I thought the last time that we had you with us, there were some concerns expressed about certain issues, and I think maybe we were looking for a follow-up to any of those things that we had previously discussed.
I sent several follow-up like emails and stuff with in terms of like specifically for street sweeping and stuff like that. So that stuff has uh already. I mean, I can try to look through the emails. I don't think there was anything outstanding from the last conversation besides trying to figure out a structure that we can, have, a conversation or something like that in between meetings. I don't think that we had any follow up with regard to that, but otherwise, all of the locations and stuff that were requested in terms of street sweeping and stuff like that were followed up on. Obviously, we had the winter also, so there was a lot of street cleaning and stuff that was canceled multiple days for snow efforts and stuff like that. And I've been in contact with Miss Lyons for other one-off situations. Like I know a few days ago we had East 40th Street between Farragut and Glenwood that I believe was flagged, and we followed up on that. And I sent a email to her this afternoon. We did look into it, and when we were there, we had full compliance. The block was clear. The block was swept. We didn't have to issue any tickets because there was no cars that were parked during the time of the sweep. So yeah, I mean, if there's anything outstanding on your end that you're aware of, you can let me know.
Okay, thank you. I see that we have a couple hands raised. I'm going to go to Miss Quashi. You have something to say? Quashi, are you there?
Hi,
Okay, Mr. Tate. Oh,
can
I'm
you
sorry.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I have a question about catch basins. On the top of the catch basin, how you doing, Miss Cunningham?
Hi, Ms.
Um,
Bashi.
who's responsible for cleaning the catch basins? Because I heard some rumors that it's now the homeowner's responsibility for cleaning the catch basin.
It is. I don't think that that's changed. It's always kind of been the adjoining property owner is responsible, but of course, with our sweepers and stuff like that, we also try to make sure that the catch basins are clear, especially ahead of a storm. We try to check and make sure that there's no debris on the top and stuff like that. So I think in terms of ultimate responsibility is the property owner, but it's definitely something that we also try to, be as diligent as we can in staying on top of as well. And then of course inside the catch basin we know is DEP.
Okay. The reason why I asked that question is because when I had a meeting about 3 years ago with Superintendent Caruso. I think he was Superintendent Caruso, but um, he mentioned, and when I had that big flood um, on that wonderful August 21st day, um, they said, and I had all that garbage, that debris, because I have a pitch that comes from Foster down to Troy and from East 45th down to Troy. And whether or not that catch basin is clean or not, when it rains, everything comes to that pitch of Troy and Farragut. So he mentioned that it is sanitation's job to clean it, not even though I have it cleaned, it is sanitation's job to clean it. That's what I heard at that meeting, and you were there. So it just was strange to hear that it was the property owner's responsibility to clean that catch basin.
Well, I believe it falls in line with everything else in terms of the sidewalk and up to 18 inches into the street. That's the same that it's always been. Um, so I don't think that's changed, but I mean, I would assume that he was referring also to the fact that we clear the top of the catch. Like, I think the differentiation comes when we are trying to explain who clears the inside when people have issues with flooding and stuff like that. It's like, if it's the top of the catch basin, that's something that sanitation is happy to follow up on. If it's something underneath, then that's DEP. So in those types of conversations, then sanitation will um take responsibility for it. But like I said, I think it also falls into the same jurisdiction as a sidewalk. If you have a sidewalk that's adjacent to your property, the property owner is responsible up to 18 inches into the street. And the catch basin would fall under the up to 18 inches into the street.
So how do you control a pitch? Because when the pitch wasn't there before, I didn't have that problem when I first moved here 40 years ago. So now when it rains, I have everybody's trash.
I'm not sure about that location specifically. I would assume, and again, this is purely an assumption, I am not sure, but it would be perhaps DOT in the way that it's, the flowing of how things are, but it could be DOT mixed with DEP in terms of how the water is flowing and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm happy to follow up to try to see if there's, additional, but I mean, it's no way to control per se, if that's the way that the street is currently graded.
Yeah, because they changed the grading when they repitched the streets on Troy and Farragut and
Right.
Foster.
So which agency repitched it?
I have no idea. I'm not a technical person. I just know they repaved the street, and that was what happened in the
Okay.
last 4
Generally, the
years.
paving is done by DOT, so that's why
Yeah,
I would assume that
yeah,
it's them, but we can try to follow up on that.
yeah, because I need to have it pitched back where the water flows and it doesn't all come down to Troy and Farragut. Because I get bombarded from the nastiness from Farragut, from East 45th and Farragut. If it comes out that alley, it's going to come that way. And if I get it from Foster and they don't clean the streets, it's going to come from Troy and Foster. And I have everything at that corner, and then everything floods if we have a heavy rainpour like we have today.
Gotcha.
And then you give me, then I called up for a 311 ticket, and then you said you have up to, you know, 48 hours to respond. That doesn't do me any good. And I'm a senior citizen, and I can't move that garbage. And
Is
my
there currently an issue right now?
no,
Okay.
but we
Okay.
did have one a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah. When the Fazios was across the street from me, had 3 feet of water across the street inside their shop during the daytime before we had the winter storms. So it wasn't pleasant on Farragut Road. I think we were on even was on News 12.
All
So
right. Thank you.
Farragut Road could be horrendous.
All right. Thank you, Miss Kwashi. I hope that
Thank you.
that was addressed appropriately for you. I
Yes,
wanted to,
I'll go back on mute.
that's okay. Um, wanted to let Mr. Tate have the floor.
Hey, good evening. Hello, Miss Cunningham. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Tate. I'm well.
Okay. Yes, part of what Ms. Quashie was saying was part of the things I was going to bring up because I have the same issue at the corner of East 43rd and the Farragut Road. That's what happened when they repaved the street. They did not repave it properly. So the water stays in the middle of the block and doesn't come all the way down to to the cash basins. Because and even right around the cash basin, it's not angled properly for the water to come straight in. So a lot of water stayed on Farragut Road, and some water also stays on East 43rd Street. You know, I would have to push it with a broom for it to go straight into the cash basin. Yes, I was told that that is transportation because basically it's that they did not repave the street properly. So I did report it to Public Safety and Transportation
Okay, do you know if
Committee.
they followed up with the Department of Transportation? Did anyone send an email or anything to them?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. But the
Okay,
other, yeah,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry. No, no, go
No,
ahead.
I
Go
was
ahead.
just gonna say that that might be a good step is, perhaps either the board or I don't know if Mr. Hill like to send an email to the Department of Transportation and perhaps DEP, and even if they want to CC sanitation. But I mean, repaving specifically is definitely more of a DOT type of thing. But if you want to just have all the agencies involved, then maybe just to kind of accelerate that concern a little bit. But go ahead, please.
Yeah, also, well, there's two more things. One, the other thing is the street sweeper. They're still not cleaning with a shoe, especially on Farragut Road, because on Farragut Road you have certain vehicles that don't move, especially between 42nd and 43rd. People put I'm going to be specific, that tire shop. He takes over the whole thing, have things over there that he doesn't move. So sanitation can't come and clean properly. Aside from that, they are not coming as regular as they used to. So that's one thing that we still have a problem with the sweepers. And my third thing is I know after the snow, it's been a lot of dog poop all over the place. Some places more than other. So I was wondering if there was any way that that could be enforced, or who's responsible? Is the homeowner responsible for having for when people come and poop in front of bring their dog in front of your house and poop? Because I seen it, for example, a good example, Beverly, no, Tilden Avenue between Utica and East 49th Street. I was going to the library the other day, and it was nothing but poop all over on the north side of the street. The whole block, I said, I couldn't believe it. It's like sidewalk and everything was just completely full of dog poop. So I don't know if there's any way that they could have some surveillance, or I don't know what we could do about it.
Yeah, that's definitely something that was noticed quite a bit during the snow and following the snow. I do not know why, but I mean, it had even reached the mayor's office. He commented
Mhm.
about it because it was, I don't know, people just, it snowed and people felt like they didn't have to clean up after the dogs anymore. We definitely have been messaging both on social media, through press releases, through campaigns, just, trying to remind people that they do need to clean up after their dogs. Nothing has changed. It's still the law, it's still the rules. I know some of the electeds also have chimed in to try to help bolster that message as well. It is something, unfortunately, that right now legislation only allows for us to give a ticket if the person is caught in the act. So unfortunately, during the snow in particular, we had so much when, the snow melted, that was when you were able to see it. And at that point, the person is long gone and we don't know who did it or when. So, in that particular type of situation, unfortunately, if street cleaning sidewalk cleaning, outside of if it rains or something like that, does kind of fall on the property owner. But if it's a location where this is habitual and this is, dog walkers tend to be, people of habit, they walk their dogs around the same time, then that's something that we can definitely send to our enforcement team to follow up on. But they would have to conduct surveillance so that they can catch the person in the act, because again, that's the only way that we can issue a summons.
Yes, because around Patagat Park also, it happened, and I would say I see a lot of dog walkers like around dusk, like let's say 7:30 to 8, 7:30 to 9. So sometimes when I go to walk and I walk in the street, because a lot of time the sidewalk you could see the dog poop right over there. So to avoid me stepping to do anything, I just walk in the street.
If
Because
that's the location,
yes,
Farragut Park, the one between along Albany,
yes,
between Farragut and Glenwood.
yes, yes.
Okay, so I can flag that for our enforcement team.
Okay, and it's all around, but more so on the East 40th Street side.
The East 40th side. Okay,
Yeah, but it happens all around.
gotcha.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I see that we had Miss Logan had her hand raised.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Hill, and good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Evening.
Ms. Cunningham, we have sort of the same problem as Ms. Quashi mentioned. It's East 40 between Farragut and Glenwood Road, in particular in front of House 831. Last year, National Grid did a natural gas upgrade. When they finished the natural gas upgrade after the street was dug up, they did a partial repaving. And after this partial repaving, the water has been ponding up in front of 831. Today, with this rain, came in from doing errands, and yeah, the water is pooling there. We had submitted a service request to 311. They closed the request back in November, stating that they inspected and cleaned the catch basin. It's not a catch basin issue. It's the way the street was repitched after the National Grid's natural gas upgrade, and it needs to be looked at. The water is pooling and ponding there right now.
Right. Okay. I definitely understand that, but that's not something sanitation would follow up on. So again, I think that that would be best to reach out to DOT for. If the way that you phrased it, they might have 311 may have sent it to DEP, and their primary concern would be to make sure that the catch basin was not clogged. So
Right.
if it's specific to a repaving, that's definitely something I would encourage you to reach out to DOT, or maybe not just you specifically, but because there's several issues in this area, then
Mhm.
maybe a more formal letter or a more formal email to DOT to follow up on those repaving concerns.
Okay, thank you. And I have two other issues.
Sure.
Alternate parking was put back in effect last week towards the end of the week, and for 2 days we had no street sweeping at all whatsoever. I know earlier I had asked you in terms of having our block flagged for people who don't move their vehicles, and so I would like to have that our block put back in that respect again.
Yes, we did actually flag that, and we followed up on that specific concern about March 5th and March 6th. The block, we checked the GPS for the street sweeper, and your block was serviced on Thursday. On Friday the 6th, it was not, because apparently their broom broke down, and they did not have a replacement for it that day. However, once we received the flag from Miss Lyons, we did monitor sweeping the very next day on the 10th, and I sent her a picture when the supervisor was there. The block was swept and there were no cars that were parked. We took a picture of the clear block. They didn't have to issue any tickets or anything like that. And I personally spoke with the district superintendent to ask if they could, continue to monitor that location.
Okay, thank you. And the last thing, the garbage bins. We have, I would say, on our block, 80 to 90% senior citizens. And with the current rule in terms of the garbage bins and when you put the garbage bins out, it is a problem in terms of senior citizens and the timing in putting it out. And I was wondering if there is some way that sanitation could take a look at the rules for having a different timing during the winter time as opposed to a different timing for the summertime when it stays light, and you have more sunshine then, because we actually had a resident on the block in putting out garbage that was accosted by someone who came up to her gate and said, "I like your body."
Okay, and this was in the vicinity of 6 p.m. because 6 p.m. is
Yeah.
currently if you have a. Okay, I mean, I can ask.
Yeah,
So what would be the proposed time?
yeah. Like during when it's darker, before daylight saving was put back into effect,
Mm-hmm.
rather than having people having to put those bins out. You can't put it out before the 6 p.m. rule. If you could, if it that could be changed and or taken a look at, so that those garbage bins would go out at an earlier time during the day when it's a little lighter.
Okay, I can mention it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miss Logan. When it comes to the issue that you were talking about with the paving, if you could just put that in the email, please, and send it to the sanitation email with the
Mhm.
information that you put so we can follow up on it.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks. Miss Martinez, I believe you had your hand raised.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening, Teresa. First, I want to thank you for enforcing on Avenue D between 56 and 57. And could you please continue, because we have permanently parked vehicles there from the Jeep company that's on East 56th Street in that little mall now. And they don't, so the street is not swept at all. They have taken all the parking spaces, and at least they should get some tickets
On
for
East
not moving
56?
on Avenue D between 56 and 57.
Okay.
Okay, outside of the park that has street sweeping twice a week. And the other thing I
Gotcha.
want to ask about is the when the snow is being cleared, not when there's a blizzard, but when the snow is being cleared, I mean, can the drivers use some discretion? Because if this wasn't even the blizzard, but there were on Clarendon Road between 56, 55th and 56th, there were, I mean, that they packed that snow and ice so tall, it was at least 4 feet. No one could get anywhere near the driveway. We have somebody there on dialysis. We have some seniors there. And even the street corner, which people cleared, was then repacked with snow. And I mean, it was so tall. I think, that's unconscionable.
Yeah, in the midst of the storm, I would say there's not much that can be done, but definitely after, if it's, a day or two after, please, reach out to me for something like that for sure. And we can try to, make sure somebody goes back down and whatever equipment they have to try to, make that more accessible, particularly for people, that are like, disabled or not able to get out or something like that. Definitely something that we could try to, get done during the storm. Things are a little crazy because the focus is to clear a path for emergency vehicles and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely after it has stopped snowing and stuff, you can reach out to me for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Quashi, I see your hand is still raised.
Sorry about that. I'll take it down.
Okay. Ms. Silska, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Mr. Hill. Thank you. I'm on 35th between Church Linden and there's been a car permanently parked there maybe for about 6 months. I think the owner is somewhere in the block, but they just would not move the car for sweeping.
Can you describe the car?
And oh boy,
I
I
mean,
don't know
it doesn't have to be
it's
specific, but like red,
yeah.
blue, what type of car is it?
I think it's a gray car. Mhm. And it's in front of I think 129. But
129 East
the street
35th
is
Street.
yeah, it's one way. The street is one way coming. So it's on the right hand side coming down.
Okay.
I think what they do, they sit in the car, um, and then the sweeper just go around them. Just yeah.
Got it.
And the
I'll make
people
a note
try to
for.
do that. Yeah, people try to do that. I know that I mentioned it some time before, and you had said they were looking into having cameras on the sweepers,
Yeah,
like
it's a
because they
bill that
can't give tickets.
right, they don't, but it's a bill that was introduced by Assemblymember Brian Cunningham.
Mhm.
I don't think that it has, I think it may have passed in the state, but it has to, go beyond that. So I'm not sure where it
Right.
sits right now, but it hasn't been, it's not law yet, but it is something that was introduced.
Thank you. Mhm. Thank you very much. Mhm.
No problem.
Are there any other questions or comments from Ms. Cunningham while we have her? Oh, Ms. Quashi,
Yes,
I see your hands up again.
yes. Miss Cunningham, do you have an update when we're going to get the new trucks with the lifts for the garbage cans?
I don't have a specific number for BK17. I can try to find out for you, but we are moving forward with the mandate, for everyone to have the official New York City bins by June of this year. So everyone is supposed to have the official New York City bins. For those that may not have it yet, they are available at Home Depot. There was a press release, I want to say last week, that now it's been rolled out, and there also are delivery options now from Home Depot. Well, it's actually from a third party vendor, but through our bins.nyc site, you can order it, and get more information with regard to getting a delivery through their third party vendors. So it's coming. Essentially, it's coming.
Thank you.
Real experts, real consumers, real results.
Anybody else have any questions or comments from Ms. Cunningham? I see we have Mr. Tate. You have your hand raised again?
Yes, I do. As I follow up to Ms. Quash mentioning the bins.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tate.
Yes.
Looks like we have some feedback coming in. Can everybody mute their
Yeah, I
mics,
could hear
please?
that.
Can everyone mute their mic, please? Oh boy.
Yes. The only one I see is you and myself, and I don't have anything on. Everyone else is on mute, but I still hear it.
No,
Okay,
we're
now it's
still.
better. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
go ahead, Mr.
Yes,
Tate.
as a follow-up to Ms. Quash's question, I was saying in terms of the summonses for not using the bins, is that still on hold?
No, it is not.
Oh,
Particularly for the organic spins, no. They
no,
are conducting enforcement. Oh, for not having a bin in general, yes, everyone is supposed to have a bin. So regardless of, you're not gonna, as of right now, you're not gonna get fined for not having a New York City bin because that is not mandatory until June. However, all of your regular garbage as well as compost material must be in a container with a lid of some kind, and that is something that's supposed to be enforced.
Okay, because on the community drive where I live between East 43rd and Troy Avenue from Proctor to Farragut, I would say most of the people do not use any bins, especially at the
Right.
corner.
The community drives are difficult. We've had the same conversation surrounding like the Troy Avenue one and stuff because you have to be able to identify the owner of the garbage. And if they're just putting it out in bags, sometimes they're not putting it out immediately where their property is. And so that makes it a more difficult one to enforce as opposed to people putting it out in front of their homes. If it's in front of their homes, you have a specific location to issue a summons to. I can take the location, but like I said, the community driveways are more difficult to enforce.
Okay, because most people put their garbage right in front of their homes. But
Right, but do the back have the addresses listed?
Oh, well,
The back of the
I,
homes.
some of them do, not all. I know mine does, but not everyone. And I'm not worried
Right.
about that because I have my bins. I have
Yeah,
my
so
bins.
that's part of the issue, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but I understand that. I understand. Oh, okay. Thank you.
We already love the Lord.
Ms. Logan, do you have?
Yes. I just have one more comment. The corner by Albany and Glenwood, right by that Choo Choo liquor store, still continues to be a problem, a never-ending problem. It gets cleaned, but there is still dumping that's happened today. It too, when we drove by, the corner was filled and overflowing with people just coming and bringing stuff and dumping.
Okay, would you guys be supportive of removing the bin from that location? Do you think that would help? Okay, I can request that.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, what was the location again? Sorry.
It's the one right at Albany and Glenwood State, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where the B6 bus stop is, right?
Yeah,
Where the B6 bus
I
stop
know.
is.
And
Yes,
the
Okay.
liquor store.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
So nice to meet you. Call me Sadie. Mercedes. Hi, I'm Tina.
Is there anybody else that has a question about Cunningham?
Sounds wonderful. Well, the only thing better than
Hey, going once, going twice. Oh, we got a hand raised. Okay, the floor is yours.
anything, right? I'm part of the producers of that show. Is a cake.
Cameron?
Yes.
Good.
I have a question.
That's nice.
Go ahead, Ms. Cameron.
We have some people that to save them.
I'm sorry. Start from the beginning, Mr. Cameron. It was difficult to hear you just now.
I said on Troy, we have people that putting cones on the street to save the space.
I'm not able to hear you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, your voice keeps going. It drops and then it comes back.
I regret to be me. I'm murdered.
Okay, give it a shot again, Mr. Cameron.
What I was saying that what could we do to those people that put cones to
Like a relentless lead, moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms can keep
I
coming
heard
back.
what can we
The
do, but I
only way to
really can't
improve
hear you
is
beyond that.
provided with rapid remission in 12 weeks. And
I said, what?
symptoms are 8 and 4
You know,
weeks.
we have the problem
Patients achieve
with these
remission
people
at
that
1 year.
they put cones to put to save spots to
Allergic
put the
reactions
car,
risk of infection from liver
and
virus.
it can
Treatment
go
with
around the
for
cone.
infection and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine.
I
Healing
still didn't
is
hear you
possible.
very well, but I think you're asking about cones. Are people saving cones for parking spots? Is that what you're asking?
Buy it today. Another label, that's your retinol should be. You lay retinol 24.
Mr. Cameron, were you able to hear Ms. Cunningham?
Okay, then I got problem with the computer then.
But did you hear what she asked you?
Yes, she asked me about the cones,
Yeah, is that what you were saying?
and I'm saying what sanitation could do for those people that the sweeper got to go around the cones and they can't sweep that particular spot.
Were you able to hear her?
So that would be difficult to follow up on. I mean, if there's a particular location, you can give it to me, but like again, kind of with the we need it if it's not a vehicle or we don't know how or who put the cone there, it's not something that we could enforce. So if you know who is doing it, then we can attempt, to maybe try to make contact with them. But again, it's one of those things that like if a car is in the way of the sweeper, then obviously we're able to ticket the car. And so if, with whatever license plate or registration information, we have someone that we can issue a summons to. However, with a cone, you don't have that type of information. So unless someone from sanitation, a supervisor is physically able to see someone putting a cone there and leaving it there, I don't really know that that's something that we can follow up on per se. But if this is a habitual situation, if it's always outside of one particular property, then I'm happy to try to follow up on that. But that is going to be something a little bit more difficult to enforce.
But can they confiscate the cones?
I do not believe that we can. Well, I'm not sure. I can ask.
Will you? Thank you.
Where are the cones located?
Uh, I don't have exact. There is located. There is there is not a building on coming in from Foster. It's uh, on the east side of the street. There is no houses there. There is before you reach to the alley, and they just put the cones over there just to hold the space.
So on Foster, but
And
there's no
Troy
homes.
and Troy coming in
No.
from Foster, right at the
Okay.
corner.
So he's saying it's on Troy between Foster and Fargo, but it's closer to Foster.
Yes.
Okay, I could try to ask, but again, with no property, if there's, if there's no property that you can, you know, issue a summons to or talk to somebody, or I think that that's going to be a very difficult thing to try to follow up on. But I can certainly try.
Miss
Okay.
Cunningham, Miss Cunningham, I believe it's the entrance to the other end of the common driveway.
So the exit of it, they're parking to block the exit.
I believe
No,
that's
no, they're not blocking the entrance to the alley. Just before
so.
you go into the alley, there is a garage that belongs to the person on Foster. That is the owner of that garage. But between the alley and Foster, there is no houses, there is no number of houses facing Troy.
Okay. I mean, for something like that, to be honest with you, it would be best if you had pictures and then you can send, and then we could try to follow up just to make sure that it's the specific location that you are referring to. And I could see if there's anything that can be done. It would be, really great if, there was, you're able to capture a photo with the cone there, that's, holding the space. If that's something that you're able to capture, maybe you could send it to Miss Lyons, who I know will get it to me for sure, and I could see if we can go from there.
Okay, thank you.
There was a question in the chat asking, what's the fine if you don't have the NYC garbage bin by June?
I'm not sure. Most residential fines are in the neighborhood of $50, so I would assume it would be around there, but I can try to find out for sure. I'm not sure right now.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Cameron, you didn't have another question. I see your hand still raised.
No, sorry.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments from Ms. Cunningham?
No.
Oh, no, no, not from you, Mr. Cameron. Just saying generally.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Bennett.
Could you also find out in regards to the fines,
While she's
if the
talking.
fines are going to increase by each week? That seems to be the new playbook with the new city ordinance that they've been doing. If you get a ticket, the first ticket's $50, then the next time you get cited, it increases. So I just want to know if that
Yes,
ticket
that's
would.
generally how it works. For any summons that's issued, if you've been issued the same ticket more than once, then it generally
Mhm.
increases.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Bennett, I see you have your hand raised.
Yes, good evening, Ms. Cunningham. And I wanted to find out, I don't know if they asked the question already. Can you hear me? It's in regards to, you said not just the fines, but as for sanitation cleaning schedule. Is that going to change anytime soon?
What do you mean? The street sweeping schedule?
Yes.
Not that I'm aware of, no. Whatever the posted regulations are, that shouldn't change unless, there's inclement weather or, some other type of emergency or something like that. Otherwise, it should stick to what's posted.
Yeah, because in my area on Kings Highway, we have street cleaning, but sometimes you don't see the sweeper come at all.
Watching their siblings experience the pain of malnutrition is
Kings Highway
Correct.
between what and what?
Between East 91st, East 92nd, and Remsen Avenue, that area right there.
help save children's lives. Please call or go online to give just 10 minutes, 33 cents a day. You can
Okay, I
help us.
can try to follow up. I feel like that might have been one of the blocks that we monitored, but I will double check.
Okay, thank you.
Reach children around.
Okay, is there anyone else that has a question or comment for Ms. Cunningham before she goes? Okay, does not appear that there is anyone that has any more questions. Ms. Cunningham, I suppose, thank you very much for coming out tonight and giving us your time. Appreciate the work that you've been doing. It looks like things are definitely heading in the right direction, and looking forward to continuing to work together to keep things going. Appreciate it.
Sounds good. No worries. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Take care. Good night.
Good night, and thank you, Ms. Cunningham.
Okay, I think at this time I'd like to do the roll call. Michael Hill, chairperson for sanitation.
Hazel Martinez, committee member.
George State, committee member.
Vanessa Quashi, community resident.
Leonie Logan, committee member.
Marjorie Silcott, committee member.
Lydia Heron Robinson, committee member.
Adele Bennett, committee member.
We have Mr. Cameron. Did you put your name up there yet, Mr. Cameron?
Eduardo Cameron, community member.
Thank you. All right. Well, just want to keep everyone motivated to, send in information to the website, or I'm sorry, to the email, for the sanitation email, so we can keep, Miss Cunningham aware of what's going on. It looks like she's getting to work on the issues, which is good. This is definitely, I was surprised that, the questions were as few as they were compared to other times. So that's definitely a good sign. And I think that this was a really productive meeting. If there isn't anything further from anyone, I don't see any reason to keep us here. Is there any other comments or questions from anybody? All right. Ms. Bennett, see you have your hand raised?
Yes.
Yes.
One of my elderly neighbors got a $50 summons for the trash in front of her house. She cleans up daily as much as she can, but she's about 90 years old. Only problem is people park there, especially cabs, and they clean their cars out and throw it out in the street. What can people do about
Uh, that sounds like a tricky situation because it sounds like something that would have to be observed and dealt with at the time that it's happening. That's tricky.
But does sanitation have the ability to do?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Does sanitation write those type of summonses?
Um, I'm sorry, it was a little difficult to hear you. I know that you said sanitation and something about types of summonses.
Yeah, the sanitation of summonses.
Uh, all right. So it went out at the same exact point again. I heard the same exact, only the first
Okay.
and the end.
The sanitation write those type of summonses.
Oh, the sanitation, right? Those types of summonses.
Yes.
I think sanitation does write those types of summonses if they are there and observe it happening. They are able to write those kinds of summonses. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll let them know.
Okay. Mr. Cameron, I see your hand is still raised. Did you have a question or a statement? Okay, I'm going to presume that's a no. All right. At this time, I believe I'm going to conclude our meeting. Can I? Oh, Mr. Tate, Mr. Tate, Mr. Tate. So you got a hand raised.
Yes, I just wanted to comment on what Adele was asking, because I know the specific time when sanitation comes around and give summonses. I know from 5 to 7 in the evening, they come and they will issue summonses to homeowners, and I believe it's 7 to 9 in the morning. I'm not 100% sure of the morning, but I know definitely from 5 to 7 in the evening, and then in the morning they will give summonses. It's either between 6 or 8 in the morning or 7 and 9 in the morning. That's when you have to make sure that in front of your house is clean. Otherwise, yes, they will give you a $50 summons that my neighbor got it. And the second summons, I believe, is $75 or something like that. Okay, but those, you have to make sure that between 5 and 7 in the evening, the front of your house is clean.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Martinez.
You can fight those summonses. So, and I wouldn't just, roll over and give them my money.
Okay, thank you for that. Ms. Bennett, I hope that information was helpful in some way.
Yes, I'm gonna pass it on to my neighbors across the street.
Okay.
I believe Hazel knows them.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Were there any other questions or comments from anybody? Okay, it does not appear to be the case. At this time, I'm going to suggest that we adjourn our meeting. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Okay, I, George State, make a motion to adjourn the March sanitation meeting at 8:25 p.m.
Second from anyone?
Leonie Logan seconding the motion.
Okay, great. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you everyone for being a part of it, and I look forward to continuing to work together.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Have a blessed evening, everyone.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.